Hi, I am Johnny John. Today I want to talk about how we can use commitment to accelerate the process of self-transformation. Now, commitment, for some, can be one of the most difficult catalysts to practice because it is easy to give up when we commit to something when times get tough. For instance, when we commit to a new diet, when we commit to a new job, when we commit to a relationship. Commitment is about staying in what we have committed to for as long as we can, even when time gets tough. This is beneficial for self-transformation because it allows us to develop the knowing of our suffering states of the mind. By staying in what we commit, it allows the knowing of the cause of our sufferings to deepen more and more. Now, commitment is very beneficial to develop self-knowing only if one incorporates the practice of stillness into their practice. Because if you simply practice commitment without practicing stillness, you would just be simply suffering. For instance, if you commit to a relationship and you suffer and you do not pull yourself back into the state of stillness, but you simply react, then little self-transformation will result. So to endure suffering for the sake of suffering, you will not develop any self-transformation. It is by incorporating stillness to pull ourselves out of the state of suffering that we can start to observe what caused it, and then we can observe how to address it. Now, the act of commitment can bring several confusing questions into the mind. What to commit? How long to commit? Well, there are no rules around it. You just commit for as long as you can. I'm here simply just to say that through commitment, you can develop the knowing of the self even deeper. And for some, this can be very difficult when suffering arises. But I'm here to say to stay, even when suffering arises, so you can develop the knowing of it even more. And what can we commit to? I would say a tip here is to commit to only things that are beneficial for your health. For instance, not to commit to things which can destroy your health. This can be committing to the practice of meditation every day, or to commit to meditating for a set of time, not giving up. For instance, if you say, I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes, meditate for 20 minutes. In 10 minutes, you may feel like you want to run away. But it's those 10 minutes afterwards that will be the most effective. So I would actually encourage you to take up meditation to explore this area, because sometimes when you want to give up, but you decide to keep going in your meditation practice, you will realize that you discover a lot about yourself. You can also commit to practices such as yoga or a sport. You can commit to exercise, a new diet plan, can commit to starting a new business project. The lists are plenty, so you can choose many things to commit to. With commitment comes a lot of wisdom and a lot of self-growth. Let me give you an example, my own personal example. I'll give you an example of my workplace. When I started out working in an office, I really hated it because I'm more into spiritual things. I wanted to work in like a yoga studio. I wanted to work in an organic cafe, a vegetarian place. But I chose a business setting, an office to work in, because I knew that by going through challenges, I can grow. Now every year that I work there, I've always wanted to quit the job because the people there are always talking about materialistic things, things that I didn't care about, things that I found boring. And every time I talked about spiritual things, people would just laugh at me. People didn't get it. People would just ignore me, so I had no one that I could really talk to, that I can really be my true self. Most of the time, I felt like I was accommodating. And different kind of people, different kind of teams pissed me off because everyone did different things their own way. And I've always thought that my way was the best. But I told myself that I will not quit just because I am experiencing suffering, because simply that's just escaping my suffering states of the mind. So I committed. And over the years, I began to learn how to get along with people. I transformed my negativities. I no longer rejected these people. Now I can talk to them as freely as I can. I can even share with them my spiritual experiences without caring what they think about me. I no longer cared whether or not people would value my opinions, whether people would think my ideas are stupid. I simply was just being myself. As a result, I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed working with the people. Now it's one of the jobs that I love. So from hate to love, my journey of commitment has brought me a lot of wisdom. And like this, if we commit to things, we'll discover many things about ourselves. Of course, if we have the intention to grow. So the practice of commitment can be a very powerful thing. To tell yourself to commit to something and stay as long as you can. And if suffering comes, in terms of self-transformation, it's very good. It means there are opportunities for us to grow.